experience.
Hello, I'm Neil, and I'm in the wild forests of Midwest Sweden. And you may ask, what are you doing there, Neil? Well, right now, Ken Block is testing the first ever all-electric rallycross supercar, ready for the race this weekend. So Ken, is it nice to be in Sweden?
It's incredible to be in Sweden, especially in this day and age. It was a very interesting trip to get here. I have lots of paperwork and make it through different checkpoints, and it was very interesting.
And a COVID test?
And a COVID test, but Stockholm was great. It's been great traveling across the countryside. Did a flip into a rock quarry pool yesterday. It's been a good time. We're here to do the official first World Rallycross competition of Project E. You know, World Rallycross has had a bit of a struggle trying to convert the teams and the cars to the electric category, but the package looks very good. We have a very nice Ford Fiesta here put together by STARD, and it's starting from scratch. Like, this is a whole new way to race a vehicle.
Are you coming around to the idea that the future is electric?
Well, I'm not necessarily coming to grips with it. It's
turn on high voltage, you use the start stop button. And when those are flashing white, the high voltage system is turned on. Push the right pedal. So now it's in drive mode. When you do nothing, drive mode switches off. 1 is full understeer, 9 is least understeer. And now you can press race mode.
Hit that.
And then you can drive on the track. Exactly.
That's all to remember. I may need this lesson again. It's a challenge, and the biggest challenge is they're all different. You know what I mean? It's like getting into a V6 car versus a V8 versus a turbocharged 4. Everybody has their own systems. The basic idea of an electric motor driving some wheels is the idea, but they all do it differently. You know, how the management's done, how the torque curve is done, how the racing is done. All these things that I've done this year is all quite different. So I've been in the Extreme E vehicle in Saudi Arabia at the Dakar Rally doing the last stage. Then I drove the Ford Mustang Mach-E recently, built by RTR, which has 1,400 horsepower, which was incredible. But I just did some hooning with that. It wasn't actually anything really competitive like the Extreme E or what I'm doing here, which is completely competitive on a track that I've raced twice. So this is just a whole different level than the other two things that I've done this year. But that's why I'm excited about this.
So what exactly is this? Well, it's the world's first all-electric road car-based race car. Developed by STARD, the chassis is a Mark 8 Ford Fiesta ST. Apart from that, everything else is different. It's all electric. Inside, you've got 3 electric motors, one at the front, 2 at the back. 2 independent transmissions, one in the front axle, one back axle. There's an enormous battery inside, 450 kilowatts, which helps it to push 1,000 Newton meters of torque, about 612 brake horsepower, going 0 to 60 in about 1.8 seconds. Top speed of about 150 miles per hour. It's quite a beast. It's 2-speed, but for race mode, you only use 1 speed, so there's no clutch pedal at all. The complicated steering wheel has a lot going on. Race mode, launch control. In terms of where you want your torque bias and also brake bias, you've got these buttons here. You can toggle and choose if you want to go faster or slower. Faster or slower. Everything else feels very much like a rallycross car. The hood is extremely light, light as a feather. And that's crucial because the battery makes it a heavy car, so if the bodywork is light, that really helps. And then this is what it looks like inside. Front motor there. And this is a world-leading liquid cooling system to keep the batteries cool because they get really hot. And that's where you see the dry ice being poured into here. That fan then cools down everything that's getting way too hot, and it gets pumped around the front and the back.
I really like the chassis and the size and the dynamics of the Fiesta compared to the Focus I used to race. That gives me a lot of confidence to be able to come here. The car is heavier than the normal supercar, and the weight is down low. The normal Ford Fiesta that we race, the weight's a bit more forward. This has more of a 50-50 weight distribution. So it feels more planted and more solid, but it feels heavier. So under braking, I feel like I have to brake a little bit earlier. And when I do brake, I feel the weight, the inertia of it. So that's taken a bit of adjustment.
So a lot of that is really serious. It's high-level competition, a lot of learning, a lot of buttons to press. But there's one question, Ken, that we haven't had the answer to yet. And you know what that question is.
Will it hoon?
Will it hoon?
Well, the funny thing about this is I think it's actually more capable than a combustion engine for hooning in Gymkhana, because one gear doing a donut, you can get that wheel speed up to like 150 miles an hour. So that's insane. So I gotta figure that out. Okay. Gotta find out today.
What can I expect, Ken?
Some crazy noises, lots of torque. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
I don't know what just happened. Oh my God. I think that might be the most visceral, dynamic, weird experience I've ever had. So not only is that my first ever time in a rallycross car, and my first ever time around Höljes, it's my first ever time in an electric rallycross car. So I feel like a new man. So we've seen that it's going to be able to race. Now the answer to that other question, which is...
Will it hoon?
I don't know if I did something wrong or to offend Ken, but he's told me to stand here, and the car's just pointing at me now, like that. Look, it's like a standoff, like a duel in an old cowboy movie.
much it spins all depends on like throttle, because it'll instantly oversteer too much. So it's a whole new experience trying to do donuts, you know? It's pretty fun though.
I wasn't quite sure if I should have been moving or standing still or watching you or...
I mean, you just definitely should be more nervous because I do not know this thing like I know my other cars. How is it with no sound though?
Oh, well, all you can hear is tires.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Nice. Well, let me try a little without you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Fatality.
I guess it can hoon.
Yeah. Way too easy. Incredibly easy.
Look at this puncture, man. That is completely and utterly melted the tire. That's insane.
Well, I slayed a tire. My first one, really, with this car. I can't put in gear. I really wish I knew what the wheel speed was.
I have never seen tire marks that thick and black before.
Well, look, those are the donuts where I was going around you, right? And that's trying to control. That's like first gear, trying to control the throttle, and it wasn't easy, you know? But this is without you, and this was just my foot to the floor, no gearbox, right? So there's no shifting. The engines are just going faster and faster. So it's potentially like third or fourth or fifth gear there till the tire popped. That was really cool. You know, I did the Mach-E, you know, and that was a bit of hooning with the Mach-E, but I didn't get to play with it that much. And still, this isn't much either. I barely got to figure out sliding around you. But man, so much potential, a lot of fun.